Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach, a life coach, the host of this show, To Take Your Life Back Today. Radio show here on the radio version, and also we have it on YouTube on channel Take Your Life Back Today show. Yesterday we spoke about the disparities in sentencings for drugs. Today we're going to go talking about drug rehab as an alternative to jail or prison. My friends, each year millions of people are affected by drug abuse throughout the world. Indeed, the United States alone, approximately 20 million Americans aged 12 or older, that's right, 12 or older, reported use of illicit drugs in the last 30 days, according to the most recent national survey on drug use and health. As the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence explains, this represents 8% of the population. Unfortunately, only about 2 million of those people are receiving the treatment they need to overcome substance abuse. As people become more afflicted with addiction, their lifestyles may become more aligned with criminal activity. Abusing illicit drugs is illegal, but obtaining them is also illegal, and people affected by abuse may engage in illegal means to get their drugs. That is partly because the brain changes when people develop addiction. Changes in a way that makes them nearly powerless to resist the urge to seek and abuse substance abuse. While people who abuse substances or engage in illegal activities to obtain them are committing crimes, imprisonment may not always be the best way to deal with them. I'm talking about for non-violent criminals charged with drug and alcohol abuse. Addiction to drugs or alcohol is now recognized as a disease, one which affects the brain in a way to cause much of the compulsive drug-seeking behavior which characterize it. Thus, addicted individuals may benefit most from treatment rather than jail or prison. Why is drug rehab a good alternative to jail or prison? Well, first, and perhaps foremost, the Families Against Mandatory Minimums, otherwise known as FAMM, explains each offender and the crime is unique, and prison or jail time may not always be the most effective response. This is especially true for addicted individuals. Instead, going through a state drug court program or entering a drug rehab by court order may be a productive alternative. Drug courts work primarily to change criminal behavior in individuals affected by substance abuse. This effort is imperative, as many people who are in prison commit crime after being released. The FAM states that over 40% of all people leaving prison will reoffend and be back in prison within 3 years of their release. With this dire truth, finding a way to treat people who can benefit from it may be an effective alternative. Instead of locking people up who have committed crimes due to their substance abuse, ordering mandatory drug rehab may help those people build better lifestyle habits. This in turn could help integrate fully functioning individuals back into society, lessening the financial burden of funding prisons for national economy. Further, the FAM found that 8 in 10, 77% adults believe that alternatives to incarceration, probation, and restitution, community service, and or rehab are the most appropriate sentence for non-violent, non-serious offenders, and that prison or jail are appropriate only if these alternatives fail. So, how does it work? If drug rehabs are an option for certain individuals in lieu of prison, how can we be sure they won't just, just blow off treatment? Many state drug courts order extensive monitoring of those individuals sentenced to drug rehab to ensure they have completed program goals. They are drug courts set up within all 50 states and the District of Columbia, but no drug courts within the federal system. Not yet, at least. As part of their programs, drug courts may require an individual to complete certain measures, be subjected to court monitorization, and meet certain eligibility requirements as part of their program sentencings. Once a person receives court-ordered treatment as a sentence, that person must complete all steps of the program without incident to complete the sentence. Some measures a person must take, or things which make a person eligible, are the following. Listen up now. Complete drug screens, such as urine test, randomly. Attend counseling or support groups, such as narcotics, AA, and other ones. Meet with the probation officers if sentenced to probation. Regularly report to the court about progress of the program. Be rewarded by or disciplined by the court for success or failure in the program. Be a non-violent offender afflicted with substance abuse, and meet other eligibility criteria such as not having a history of crime or violence and no other convictions. Non-violent, that's the key word here, folks. Must be referred to drug court by the prosecutor or judge. A referral may require that the person first plead guilty to the offense. For some sentencing, a person who successfully completes a drug court program may be exempt from pleading guilty, may be able to avoid getting a conviction for the crime, may have a prison or jail sentence reduced, may avoid a prison or jail sentence altogether, or may be allowed to have convictions removed from their record completely, otherwise known as expunged. Are you or a loved one suffering from addiction? Don't wait. Get the best treatment options today. Call 888-352-0383 for information. Other ways people may enter drug or rehab in lieu of jail or prison. Well, drug rehab must be ordered by a judge or suggested by a prosecutor. First-time offenders may stand a fair chance of receiving drug rehab as a sentence. In particular, people who receive a first offense, DUI, driving under the influence charge, may have an opportunity to change the court's view of their future sentencing. For example, if a person receives a first offense DUI, he or she will then have a court date, typically about a month later. While waiting for the court date, if a person begins a form of treatment, entering maybe like a support group or outpatient counseling, this may help the person to demonstrate to the court that he or she has taken strides towards recovery. While it is not a guarantee that the person will be given a drug rehab or other forms of treatment instead of jail time, having a start on treatment may be a signal to the court that the person is ready to recognize, admit, and seek treatment for his or her addiction issues. Folks, getting help with drug rehab, if you know someone who could benefit from entering a drug rehab instead of jail or prison, you may want to get help before it's too late. Addiction is a disease which affects people's decision making. It affects their health. Before your loved one makes a choice he or she may regret, help them get into the treatment they need today. Contact thedrugrehab.org to learn more about treatment options and drug rehab centers. Tune in tomorrow's show to find out what the Bible says about generosity. What the Bible says. That's tomorrow's show. Tune in. Call me at 844-405-HELP. Together, you and I, we can help each other take our lives back and be good to yourselves. Always, I mean always be good to other people. And a simple smile to that old man or old lady living right next door to you can make a big difference in their day, and it can change your life. May God bless each and every one of you. Take good care. Don't forget tomorrow what the Bible says about generosity. Take care, and may God bless you. And have